Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I read last week. So, as I'm filming this, it is December 28th. So it is that weird time between Christmas and New Year's where nobody knows what day it is. Nobody knows what just happened. But this last week was over Christmas. So we've got a couple Christmas reads, a couple not Christmas reads, and let's just get into it. So the first two are middle grades that I read with my kids, and we've got... Let's see, Holly the Christmas Fairy. It's the Rainbow Magic series by Daisy Meadows. There's 1,000 different spinoffs on this, but this is cute. This is about a little fairy named Holly and two human girls that go to rescue Christmas because Jack Frost has stolen Santa's sleigh and a couple of presents and things, and so they go to try to help save Christmas. And I will say this one was kind of scary for my 4-year-old because Jack Frost is a nasty guy, and he's got goblins that help him, and so definitely got a little high stakes, but this was cute. I liked it. Then this I loved. 5 stars. Bible questions and answers for kids. So this is every day. It's like, did Jesus have special friends? And then it's a quiz. It tells you about that. And then it's a quiz based on scripture. This says, would Jesus care to have a meal with me and be my best friend? Some of them are harder than others. Some of them I really had to think through it. It gives you the scripture. So then we would go read that and find out what they're talking about. We're actually still kind of reading this. We're finished with the whole devotional part, but in the end, it does a little summary of every book in the Bible, and it's really cool. Just a really couple sentence blurb about what the Bible book is about, and so we're reading through that. And yeah, this was a 5-star. We all really enjoyed it. We all learned some from it, and it was great. So now let's get into the adult reads. So first, we have Cecilia Ahern, The Time of My Life. And this one has been sitting on my shelf for a while because it's really thick. But honestly, you guys, upstairs is my unread shelves. And my authors, I have it by author last name. And A to G is really, really full. The shelves are double stacked. And so I picked up a chunky A. And that was my whole reason for picking this. And I actually really like that. But this is about a woman named Lucy, I think. Yeah, who gets a letter from life saying, hey, we need to meet. We need to talk. And so this is a weird, it's kind of a sci-fi esque magical realism, I think is what I called it. But life is personified. So her life is this guy that she names Cosmo. And life is wanting to have a chat with her because she's just kind of introverted, kind of stuck in a rut, lies a lot. She is a pathological liar. And so she spun herself into some webs. She's single. There's a lot going on that she's just not paying attention to her life, I guess. And it just, in concept, I like this. Lucy is the main character. I did not like her at all. And some things made absolutely no sense. So she had a boyfriend that broke up with her, but they collectively agreed to tell everybody that she broke up with him. And so friendships are weird because of that. She lied about her job as a translator, and yet she can't speak Spanish. And so she lied. That is silly and frustrating. And she would not break the fourth wall really as much as she would tell you this whole story and then be like, actually none of that was true. And I didn't love that. The whole life thing also didn't make a lot of sense. I think the goal was to get her to stop lying and live a more authentic, genuine life, but her life didn't actually change that much, she's in her life before and after, she socialized, she did a variety of things, and it just didn't make a ton of sense. So I didn't love this one. So then if you saw in my December in and out, which you may not see, I'm not sure which is going to come out first, but my parents got me number 2 and 3 in this Greg Kincaid, A Dog Named Christmas series. Number 2 is still with my mom. She's got it, but number 3 is this. So number 2 is called Home for Christmas. I think I'll put a picture up. Home for Christmas, I think is what it's called. And in this one, it does directly follow the storyline from A Dog Named Christmas. So I don't think I'm going to spoil anything in saying that it's from a small town in Kansas. And I don't think the town itself that they reference is a real place, but they do reference a lot of places that are real within Kansas. And so I really like that. And it's actually the northeast part of the state, more in a rural area. But I like, it's very interesting. Normally, Kansas is normally portrayed as Western Kansas, which was tumbleweeds and prairies for days. But this was like Northeast, kind of near the Nebraska border, if I'm guessing correct. But in this book, the town that they live in is under threat of going like extinct. Everything is closing down. Government funding is not happening. And so the dog shelter needs to close. And so our main character, Todd, he is a mentally disabled or delayed young man who works at the animal shelter and loves dogs. And so he and the gal who runs it are trying to find a place for all these dogs and cats that are living there because it's shutting down. So really, the whole book is sweet and wholesome. It's not as good as the first one. I would say it's like a 3.5. And then this one, number 3, is back to being like a 4-star. It is really cute. So Todd is he's independent enough that he's able to move out out of his parents' home at the end of the second book. And so he's got this dog named Elle. And Elle is a troublemaker. So Noelle, yes, this is like winter Christmas kind of, but this title is because he's always saying no Elle, and so it's really cute. But this book has a lot of punch. So the town again is they were able to survive somewhat, and sorry if that feels like a spoiler, it's a very wholesome series. I think you could deduce pretty easily where it goes, but the town Santa is sick, and so Todd's mom, who is somewhere 50s 60s, she takes over as Anna Claus and has all of these agendas on teaching kids to value giving more than getting. And so that's a really interesting element. Then there is a discussion on 2 disabled people having a marriage and a relationship and how that works, and I liked that. And then there's also starting an animal shelter, and so there's a lot of really sweet things going on in this one, and I really like the way the town banded together, and I really like just the conclusion that we get for this series. So highly recommend. Then I don't know if you guys are the type that, let me know in the comments below. Are you the type that December 26th Christmas gotta go, or are you the type that leaves it up for a while? I have always been December 26th, we got to bag it up. We're done. I'm done with Christmas. However, this year I'm a little more into just letting it be cozy for a while. And I think we're going to, we've started to take things down here on the 28th. And I think my goal is to have it all down by New Year's. But even if it extends to that weekend, I'm okay with early January, but then it's time to move on. But with my reading, I wanted to be done at Christmas. So now the rest are not Christmassy. So we have In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer. This one is a book that is a really cute, fun, low spice, kind of slow burn romance. And I really like this one. It's not one that I've got a ton to say about because it's a pretty straightforward romance, but this couple meets, her dress gets stuck in the subway and rips down her back, and he gives her his suit jacket. And it's kind of a grumpy sunshine where he's the grump and he's introverted, and they continually run into each other. And so they have a friendship turned into a romance. It's really sweet. I do like the conversation that is had around, because their whole first meet cute kind of goes viral because of the dress situation. And so I like the conversation around posting information and pictures of other people without their permission. I like that conversation. But otherwise, this is pretty straightforward. Not to say that's a bad thing. It's just not probably going to be something I remember forever because it's a 3.5 star cute romance. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's nothing exceptional. So there's that. Then I read a Debbie, because the other shelf that's up there is, I have a whole shelf that is just Debbie and Susan Mallory, and I wanted to chip away at it. And this is not in a series, and so I picked it up assuming it was going to be a romance, kind of kind of the same thing, like an entertaining read, but nothing exceptional. This was actually very good. This was very different. This is a book about 2 women who meet when they're kids, and one of them is kind of from a poverty-stricken family, and dad's a drinker, just not a great home life. And then the other one has a very wealthy family. Dad's a lawyer and can do nothing but provide. And so that family kind of takes the other one under their wings. The names are Jillian and Leslie. And Leslie is the one that comes from a rougher background. And so Jillian's family kind of takes her under the wing. Both have great moms, I think. I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they're growing up, going to this private school together. And then it just follows them from their life in the 40s is when we meet them. And it goes all the way past 9/11 for sure. And we just follow these these women's lives as Vietnam happens and different things happen in their lives. They become mothers, and one of them, the Leslie, who has an alcoholic father and stuff, she kind of sees herself trying to break that cycle, yet falling into the same situation. And normally books that follow like 60 years like that, I don't love, but this one was just so good. Like, their families were enmeshed. It talks a lot about friendship and how we maintain that even with very different lives. They lived far apart. They had very, very different lives, and yet they remained friends. And I was invested in what happened to these characters, and I really enjoyed it. So I would say this is a historical women's fiction. Not what I would have expected from Debbie, but it was not a cute one. It was a good one. Definitely something that had me entertained. So there's that. And then last is Sam's Letters to Jennifer by James Patterson. So James Patterson writes these occasionally. Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas is the first one. And then, I mean, they're not related at all, but this is about a girl named Jennifer who comes back to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And my sister, when she was young, she got married and moved with her husband to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And so it's a place that I am familiar with. And that was a really just fun element. But anyway, Jennifer goes to Lake Geneva because her grandma is in a coma. Her grandma had also written her a bunch of letters that she wanted her to read. And so Sam is her grandma. Sam wrote letters to Jennifer. And it's all about kind of lifelong secrets. Sam raised Jennifer. She was raised by her grandmother. And so her and her grandmother are very, very, very close. And it's about the ins and outs of her life that she had never shared before because it wasn't really appropriate yet. And now that they're adults and all that kind of stuff, it is appropriate to share about her love life, her relationship with her grandpa, as well as kind of another man who's the one who got away sort of situation. And all the while, Jennifer has a romance. Jennifer, I keep getting their names swapped, but Jennifer has a romance with a guy who is a doctor that was a childhood friend, and they run into each other at the hospital. It becomes a friends to kind of more thing. And so this is romance-y. The grandmother has a romance as well, and yet it's more women's fiction. I would say it's definitely about Sam and Jennifer's relationship and Jennifer kind of learning from her grandmother. So it is a good read. I would say this is like 3.5. It's kind of Nicholas Sparks-esque, but not as good. It's done in the way that like a few things are done for the emotional impact, and it was like, okay, really? And they were done for the emotional impact, and then they get wrapped up really easy because that's not actually how we want the story to go. And then the ending is like, okay. So this would be 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It's something a little different for James Patterson. I will say the audio of this is kind of awful. They play music with it, and like there's times where they like try to play like suspenseful music, and this is not a thriller. It's not your typical James Patterson. And so yeah, I don't know. It was all right. So that is everything that I read in the last week. What about you? How have you guys been doing? How was Christmas? How's your reading been? Does Christmas speed it up, slow it down? Like I said, we are stir crazy. We have been together at home doing nothing for days and days and days. And while it's lovely and I've craved like a slower pace, it's also like, okay, ready to get up, start doing things, kind of get back to life. So let me know how you feel, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.